Hello, and welcome to Secrets from Athletes, where we dive into what makes a top athlete and how you can apply their routines and mindsets to your own life. I'm your host, Andre Schall, and today with me I have Trey Windwehen. He is an ultramarathon and marathon runner. How are you doing today, Trey?
I'm doing well. Thanks for inviting me, Andre.
Yeah, of course. So, marathons and ultramarathons, it's not everyone's cup of tea. How'd you get into running these types of races, and what made you stick with it?
I guess it started junior high, so a long time ago. It was just something I was okay at, and followed that success into college, and then I ran in track and cross country and into college, and then the next step kind of made sense to check out marathons and longer distances after that.
Mm-hmm. So when you say you ran track and cross country, what kind of events were you running in college?
1,600 meters, so the mile, 800 meters, and then some longer stuff, 5,000, 10,000. Tried the steeplechase.
Actually, in my last two episodes, just had people who did steeplechase, so I now
Cool.
know stuff about steeplechase. So marathons remind me it's
26.2.
26.
Yeah.
And ultra marathons are...
It's technically anything over a marathon. So I guess 27 miles is an ultra, but typically they're 50K all the way up to now people are doing 240-mile races is the new crazy thing.
What's the longest you've done?
I did 100 a few years ago. I had done a 50. Another thing that kind of got me into it, I was just curious one day, and I was bored. I knew I had a day off. It was just after getting married, and I set out with a backpack and a phone charger, and I just was going to run 50 miles. It took me the whole day. My wife thought I was crazy, and I thought it was kind of cool. And so that kind of got me into it as well. And then after that, I found out there was people that were doing those races. So that got me curious about the 100-mile, because I'm like, I don't even know if I could run 100 miles. So that's what got me the bug too.
Hey, curiosity is what led you into all of it. So I know that preparing for these long races isn't easy. How do you balance work, training, and having a social life in general?
I try to run when the family's not home. That's ideal, but sometimes it does interfere. But I have a pretty good schedule where my wife teaches and my kids go to school with her. So I usually have an hour or two in the morning where I can run. And then sometimes I'm just waking up before they're up, and I knock it out before they wake up too.
Yeah.
Helps.
Early morning. I know those type of practices from Rowan as well.
Yeah.
So for those longer races, are all your types of practices just those long distance runs, or how do you prep for those?
It depends. On the marathon, it's a little different. You're going to incorporate more speed, so more intervals. The longer distances, I don't think it matters as much. It's more time on feet. It's not as much about speed, but I do mix it in too. And I think, I think it's better to mix in some, even if it's half-mile intervals or fartleks or little surges through in the race. Or in the practice.
I probably have some listeners who are interested in getting into marathons and those types of races. What is your advice for people who are interested in getting into marathons and longer distances?
I think you want to start with a base. So before you worry about speed and all the little things, you just want to be able to run comfortably without getting injured. Don't rush in anything. Just take small little steps, maybe 10%, increase your mileage maybe 10% a week at most. Don't jump right into it and get that nice base. It might take you 6 months, and then you can start throwing in some speed work. And then ideally you wouldn't start with a marathon. Maybe you start with a 5K, then a 10K, then a half marathon, then a marathon. It'd be some of my advice.
So just that steady build up, that consistent, kind of like the 1% better every day kind of, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The longer it takes you to get there, the better chance you'll have of not getting hurt. And if you're not hurt, you're going to keep improving, and it might take a few years, but you'll go from good to great.
Yeah. And the longer you can do it, if you're not hurt, the better.
Yeah.
So on the topic of advice, what was the best piece of advice someone from marathons and ultra marathons has given you?
That actually was one of them. I've just heard it on a couple people I listen to on YouTube, and just to stay consistent and build the base and not worry as much about speed. It also, that aerobic foundation, it'll actually change the way your heart even works. So you can just maintain conversation, and you can be going pretty fast if you get your heart in enough shape. So that was good advice. Yeah, I've had a lot of good advice over the years. Yeah, that's one of the best ones. Oh, and another key thing that's really helped me was I read a book talking about the form of running. And at this point, I kind of gotten into marathons and had some knee issues. And I totally changed my gait whenever I was about 30 years old. So, and I think that saved my knees. So instead of heel striking like I grew up doing, I started running on the middle of my foot and the forefront. And that probably gave me a lot more years in it too. So that was pretty key advice. Otherwise, I'd be, I think, out.
Oh, wow. So with these types of races, I know they are very physically strenuous. What do you do on the mental side to make sure you can keep performing at that high physical level?
Mental's a lot of it. I play games in my head. I listen to podcasts, music, get in conversations. It depends where you're at in the race, and depends where you're at mentally. But I mean, I've done things like visualize someone cheering me on, or like my kids, if they're even back home and not even there, I just kind of think about something funny they would say just to get my mind off the pain it's in. And that's more at later stages of the race, where it's just like a couple miles to go and you're really hurting. So you just start whatever trick you can do. I literally count sometimes while I'm running. I'm like, okay, just 30 more seconds. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then you make it to 30 seconds. And then you're like, okay, just run until the next tree. Just whatever you need to trick your brain. I've done all those little tricks.
I do something very similar with rowing because I feel it's so effective, where if you distract the brain and just let your body work, you can just truly reach those like really effective heights for your sport.
Yeah. I heard this with it was a marathon runner. She was a Kenyan, and she was really empathetic, and they did the study where empathy made better distance runners, something like that. But
Oh, wow.
I noticed they brought it up because she actually, an elite marathon runner, she ended up winning, actually helped another person get water, which was really odd. So I guess they did that study thinking about that. But I remember thinking of runs where I was concerned for someone else and not myself, how actually I wasn't feeling the pain, because instead of thinking about the pain I was going through, I was thinking about the pain they were going through. And it's actually a good trick if you can, I don't know how you fool yourself into thinking like that in a race, but if you can think about someone else's pain instead of your own pain, it's a good trick to not feel the pain.
Yeah, I think it like tricks the brain into thinking we're doing this for that person to try to maybe help with their pain, so let's keep going.
Yeah.
So on the topic of pain, before you mentioned that you had some knee issues, what's the biggest challenge you've faced with marathons and ultra marathons, and how did you overcome it?
Let's see. That was one of the worst ones. So the knee pain, because you get going and you run a decent marathon, and then now your knees hurt so bad that you have to take off some time, and then now you're starting back at whatever square at the second level instead of all the way where you were. And so yeah, just changing the gait was a big one. And
I want to interrupt you right there real quick.
Yeah,
so
please.
with running, it's like, I know it's the repetition of your old gait. How did you kind of like force your brain to learn the new gait? Because I know that's definitely a habit that was very ingrained in you probably.
It was rough. It took a long time because you zone out. So I just had to force force it. And it took 6 months before it was just natural. So I just had to think about striking differently on my foot. It was a book. The book was Born to Run. Actually, that's a really great book. But that's the one that changed my game. Yeah, and I've had other small injuries that have held me up before, but you just got to take time off, ice it. I've got a Theragun I use almost daily. All those little tricks to keep rolling. Heat.
Yeah, recovery. I feel like that it's become bigger for sports, but I still feel like it could be so much more emphasized for every sport. So what I've learned is that sports, they teach you things. What's the best thing that marathons and ultra marathons have taught you, and how have you applied it outside of running?
So I use the 100 mile for a good example. So the 100 mile race I did was the best example. The 100K does this too, but not like the 100 miles. It's just a whole nother beast animal. You go through the lowest lows. I wish everyone could experience it. It's you break down and you get almost sad. You're down to nothing. You have no energy. And then all of a sudden, maybe you're eating some food, whatever. You slow down and you think you're done, but you're not done. 30 minutes goes by and all of a sudden you have energy again. And then all of a sudden you can run again. And an hour before you thought you were done and you're not, and that applies to life too. So it's as bad as things get, things turn around too. So it's a good life lesson running that 100. It's like you go through all the highs and lows in one day. It's pretty wild.
I feel like that's honestly a really healthy mindset to have about life is like, overall, there's like the two sides to it. Nothing is permanent. So like everything is temporary. So like the good, okay, you need to really enjoy that. But then also when you're in those bad situations, it's like this doesn't last forever. Like you're saying in the races, those lows, you have the highs after.
Yeah, for sure. Then you appreciate it more. It's cool.
Yeah, that's the great thing about life. So a personal question I just have about those races is you before mentioned that sometimes you listen to podcasts or music. Are you allowed to do that during those longer races, or is there like rules about it?
All the ones I've ever done, you've been allowed to listen. I'm sure there's some race where maybe it wouldn't be safe if you're on the side of a road or something. I've done a road race where you couldn't have something in your ear, but then you could still play your phone on speaker. So yeah, you can pretty much always listen to something as far as I was experienced, and it helps.
So we mentioned recovery and just in general, like prepping for races. Do you have like one habit that you're like, this is something, you mentioned the Gun. Is there like one daily habit you're like, this is a great thing to do for runners?
I've always been into stretching, so that's good. Typically I do it after I run and not before. I think it's safer to stretch more muscles. Yeah, I love that Theragun. I bet I use it 6 times a week. God, there's a lot of little tricks that help. Cold showers, I don't do them that often, but I feel like they just make everything feel better. Ice works the same way. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. But if there's a trick out there, I've probably tried it.
I mean, like you were saying, those little things, they matter. They just they build up for the positivity. So overall, what is you'd have to say your funniest superstition or story you have from running?
As far as superstitions, I don't have as many actually. I've met people that have had some. But yeah, funny stories. I don't know. This isn't as much of a funny story as I guess a fun story. So I recently put a relay team together, and part of the way I did it was where I work at a winery, so I get to talk to people and meet people, and that's how I know you. Yeah. And so people will come in, and I'm serving them wine, but if I notice they're a runner, then I'll ask more questions. And then whenever I realize they're a good runner, then I've made 4 friends that way. So anyway, between some of the friends I already had and recruiting some people at the place I work, I put together a relay team last year, and that was a lot of fun. And you can have up to 12, but we ended up with 10. But we got in a van. It was 10 guys in a van going from Southern Virginia all the way to Asheville. And it was just a bunch of distance runners that probably take it too seriously. And we had a blast. Like it was a lot of fun. It was just a bunch of weirdos like me in a van being competitive. And yeah, I loved it. So there's always fun times. Distance runners are kind of goofy. So yeah.
How long a distance is that from Asheville to like Southern Virginia?
That was like, I think it was 208. So each person runs 21 miles. Mm-hmm. You just do it at different stages. So you might run a 3-mile run, or you might run a 10-mile run, and then you're handing off the baton, and then somebody else is driving the van, and you eat when you can eat and sleep if you can sleep. And yeah, we'll probably do it again this year. It should be.
That sounds fun to do. And you mentioned like really cool. You kind of like notice if someone's a runner. Is that from like the apparel they're wearing, or is there like a secret sign?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that person's a runner.
I've gotten good at picking up those things, but you can usually tell. I don't know. It's the crazy look in their eye or something. No. Yeah, it's a lot of times their watch, or if they're fit, that's sometimes can be a giveaway. And then just ask God. You ask them about their watch, and then before you know it, they'll let you know if they're a runner.
So, what are your future plans for running? Like, what's the next big race you're thinking of doing?
Actually, February the 7th, I've got 100K. So it's the same place I ran that 100-mile. It's down in Texas, where I'm from, just north of Houston. It's called the Rocky Raccoon. They have 100K and 100 miles. So this time I'm going to do the 100K. I actually have a lofty goal. I want a podium that race, so I will be trying for first, second, or third. And it'd be really cool to win. I don't know. There's usually somebody real fast that comes out and wins it. So we'll see.
That could be you this time.
It could be. We'll see.
Yeah. Well,
I've been
good
training.
luck with that race.
Yeah, thank you.
So now on to the Blitz questions. These are just short, really fun questions. So what is your favorite month of the year?
Man, my birthday's in October, and I think it's a great just time of year. I love the fall. It's good running weather, too. And it's kind of leading into like everyone in my family's birthday, my 2 kids and my wife, were all from October through December, and then you got all the other celebrations in there. So it's kind of leading up to that. The seasons are changing, so October's my favorite.
The start of a very fun time of the year.
Yeah.
What is your favorite music genre?
I like oldies. I listen to a lot of oldies. They're perfect for distance running because they're kind of, I don't know, more chill and oldies, classic rock, 50s, 60s, Motown, all that good stuff.
I personally know this as an athlete. We love our food. What is your favorite food?
I love lasagna, cheeseburgers. Those are up there. Yeah.
Is there a specific pre-race one you like as well?
I've eaten a lot of peanut butter and jellies pre-race, so that's up there. It's just kind of easy to digest, and it tastes pretty good. Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite movie?
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I like that movie forever.
I think I still need to watch that one, so that's
a good movie. Yeah.
Right. What is your favorite animal?
For my whole life, I always said white tiger, just because I thought it was cool. I saw one in a zoo once, and when I was a kid, and it just looks like a magical creature, so majestic. So I think I'll stick with that. That's a pretty good animal. I like dogs a lot too, though. Yeah. But I'll go white tiger.
All right. What's your favorite breed of dog, since you were mentioning it?
Golden Retriever is still my favorite. I've had a couple. We've got one right now. They're the best.
They look awesome. So imagine you could be at the highest level in any sport you'd wish, except running. What sport would it be?
God, I don't know. highest level. Oof. I guess football quarterback, probably.
Okay.
That's got to be the coolest thing.
Yeah. Any specific team you'd want to be quarterback for?
Oh God, I grew up a Cowboys fan, and I've pretty much written off football and the Dallas Cowboys. They just break my heart and they're annoying. So I don't know. I should just change my answer from football now that I'm thinking about the Dallas Cowboys. But
No,
I
you
guess
could.
I could
If
bring
you were
them
in
back.
football, you could bring them back. The
I
glory.
don't know. I could bring them back to their glory if I was actually good. So yeah, I guess the dang Dallas Cowboys.
So, is there a favorite race you've ever run or are thinking of running? Like, what would be your favorite race?
Um, Actually, I ran the Blue Ridge Relay like 6 years ago. That team I put together, and I loved it so much that I always wanted to put my own team together. So that probably was it. And then close second, that 100-mile race I was talking about, Rocky Raccoon, and that one's special because it was the first race I picked that I didn't actually know if I could do it. My friends said I was crazy, and then it kind of started a chain reaction because one other friend signed up and then another friend signed up. So before I knew it, there were 7 of us first timers. And yeah, it kind of was the catalyst of that crazy movement. We all ended up doing it too. And your first ultra, there's only like a 50-50 chance you're going to finish 100. So it was really cool. We were all very stubborn together and finished that thing.
You were on the right side of a 50%?
Yeah, that's right.
And final question, this is just out of curiosity because I know runners usually have really good cardio, so they have a really low resting heart rate, like in the 40s and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, is yours down there?
It's low. I haven't checked it lately, but last time it was 39 resting heart rate. Yeah, it's wild.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Trey, for being on. I wish you the best of luck with your race in
Thanks,
February.
Andre. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I'll update you later how I do. Unless it's 4th or more, then I'm not going to tell you about it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
And thank you all for tuning to Secrets from Athletes. Make sure to follow on Instagram at secrets_from_athletes. There's also a YouTube, a Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Make sure to go listen to the episodes on there. We'll be back with more secrets from athletes to help you refine your mindsets and routines.